Λοιπόν, χαίρετε κύριοι. Καλησπέρα. Και κυρίες, πάντα ξεχνάω τις κυρίες, συγγνώμη.
Γιατί έτσι?
Δεν ξέρω, μου έρχεται επειδή είναι μπασκετική εκπομπή ότι τα είχαμε, είμαστε μόνοι μας. Λοιπόν, Μιχάλη, για χαρά.
Καλησπέρα σε όλους, γεια σας. Μεγάλη χαρά απόψε, πολύ
έτσι,
μεγάλη χαρά.
Έτσι. Είχαμε κάνει διάφορες απόπειρες, δεν τον είχαμε καταφέρει, αλλά τώρα τον βρήκαμε. Stephane Lasme μαζί μας. Hi, thank you very much for the acceptance.
No, thank you for having me, man. I know it's been a while. We've been trying to schedule this, but I'm happy we finally did it.
Okay, thank you. It doesn't matter that we didn't make it some other times. This is perfect now. So,
είναι μεγάλη χαρά. Θανάσης είναι ένας, αν και δεν έπαιξε πάρα πολύ στη Παναθηναϊκό, είναι ένας θρύλος, έτσι. Εγώ τον θεωρώ ένα θρύλο της νεότερης ιστορίας της ομάδας τουλάχιστον.
We say that you are one of the best players from Panathinaikos in the last 10 years for sure. We will give your accolades. Okay, tell us first of all what you are currently doing.
Yeah, I know. What about your current business? Mm-hmm. You are the owner of a cannabis industry, something like this.
Yes, I'm an owner of a cannabis company.
Okay.
I do cultivation. I'm involved in cultivation, manufacturing, and distributing cannabis in the legal market in the States.
Okay. Did you have this idea a long time ago? Because in Greece, for example, these companies start building now. They didn't have the permission earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I was aware. I knew. I think actually the summer before I came back from Panathinaikos, I read that it became legal. The medical cannabis got legalized in Greece. Mm-hmm. So I'm aware of what's going on in Greece when it comes to the cannabis business, industry and everything. I had this idea. I mean, everyone knows by now in Europe around basketball that I smoke weed. Everybody knows this, and it's a pretty common thing when you think about it in a world. In every country you go to, people in general do it, and so when especially when I got suspended for smoking cannabis, I went through some things in the court with I think Galatasaray and the Turkish Federation. Okay. The whole story about me getting punished because I use cannabis, and cannabis is supposed to help me become a better basketball player somehow. That's the idea behind punishing me for a year, right? So I had to go to court, kind of prove that it's not true. So when I went through that whole process, I realized that there was a lot of people that was miseducated about the whole thing, and because I was educated, and I know I went through something so negative. You know, because once you in basketball, once people know that you smoke, it's all the whole thing become negative. I'm talking about when it comes to the business of sports.
Yes.
In the business of sports, if they know that you smoke, everything become negative. But to me, it was never a negative thing because it was helping me medically for my foot, and it was never a negative thing because it was helped me relax. So I wasn't doing it during the season. But I know in the summer when I do it, it helps me relax. And when I saw all the negativity going in around basketball around it, I figured the best thing for me is to invest in something that I like, and to change that whole negative talk around cannabis and me, and make it something positive, like creating a business that works, that makes money, that hire people, that change families' lives, and help people medically.
Okay. Μιχάλη, ποιος άλλος είχε κάνει τώρα τις προάλλες, ο Σον Κέμπ? Did Son Kemp have something similar like you?
Yes, I mean, yeah, a couple of basketball players have their brands and their own companies, and it's becoming a thing. It's becoming a thing in the States. Now I think there's almost 20-something states that are legalized, and hopefully in 5 years the whole country is going to be legalized.
Okay.
Hopefully I can come to Greece and it's going to be the same over there too.
Okay. It will be okay in Greece too. No worries.
Πάμε, Θανάση, έτσι να εξελίξουμε το κουβάρι σιγά σιγά.
Λοιπόν, επειδή εγώ είμαι λίγο αρρωστάκι με τη γεωγραφία, δώσε μου το χρόνο να τον ρωτήσω λίγο για τη χώρα του ένα πράγμα και μετά πάμε στα μπασκετικά τα δικά σου.
Ναι, πάμε.
Because I'm a geography junkie, I want you to give me some interesting facts about Gabon. I know that you're Gabonese, you grew up there, and you went in high school in Libreville, which is the capital city. Okay, talk to us about this unknown for many Greek people country.
I mean, Gabon is a small country on the west side of Africa. Pretty nice weather, kind of similar to Greece. It's on the beach, like similar to Greece. I grew up in, I actually didn't grow up in Libreville. I grew up in Port-Gentil.
Which is the second biggest city.
Right, second biggest city. I only went to Libreville my senior year in high school. I just spent 1 year there in my life. But I grew up in Port-Gentil, small town, maybe 100,000 people, if that. Libreville got about 200,000 people. The whole country, 3 million people or so. And I think even 3 million is exaggerated. So it's a small country, nice weather. People are pretty relaxed, just like kind of time personality I have. And I want to compare you also to the same personality like in Greece, like, you know, you like to go and enjoy your time. It's like people that like to that are really friendly, and they look forward to meet new people, new things, because it's also like touristic, like a small touristic area.
Okay.
But most people talk about, when they talk about Gabon, they talk about like the fact that we have a lot of oil, like it's an oil-rich country. We have a lot of those natural resources. Like 90% of our economy is based on natural resources. So that's what people, know the most about the country.
Okay. Μιχάλη, προχώρα.
Στον κόσμο η Γκαμπόν όντως είναι από τις πιο πλούσιες χώρες, ορυκτό πλούτο κτλ. Ναι. Όχι, εσύ να μου πεις, θα πάμε από παλιά ή να πάμε Παναθηναικό κατευθείαν, πώς θα το κάνουμε?
Πάμε Ευρώπη, πάμε Παρτιζάν ίσως.
Παρτιζάν, πάρ' το εσύ που είσαι Σέρβος καλύτερα.
Okay. After your college career and your draft, you went in Europe to Partizan. I think Partizan is your first.
Maccabi the second, I think.
Yes, Partizan Maccabi.
Yeah, Partizan was my first year in Europe, in Serbia, man.
Talk to me about your, I believe, your shock when you saw their fans, their atmosphere, because it's not the same in, I believe, in the NCAA, in the NBA, and of course in Europe, and especially in Serbia, and after that in Israel, in Greece.
Serbia, Greece, Turkey.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my first year in Europe to go to Partizan was amazing to me because, you know, I never knew European basketball was this way. It never came in my mind. I was never educated enough, and when I got there, my teammates were telling me all the time, "Wait until the EuroLeague game, man. Wait until EuroLeague game. You're never gonna stop smiling." And I didn't believe it until that first EuroLeague game, walking on the floor and see that whole gym singing, yelling. I mean, I got addicted right there and then. Like I knew every team that I kind of want to play. I'd like to play in teams that have fans. It's more fun. You get to have like that instant gratification. You get to communicate with the fan. If something's doing good, you know. If you're doing bad, you know also. So I got addicted right there into that whole thing, man. It made it even easier for me when I went to the following teams. By the time I got to, because Partizan, going from Partizan to Maccabi, it's another group of crazy fans.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
so
Yes,
it's like you take it to another level. It was a different type of crazy. It was a different type of crazy, but it's just as crazy as Partizan. Partizan, they were game, especially against Red Star, when we thought that maybe someone might die. You know, it's like the same way you feel. The same way you feel when you go to play in Olympiacos gym. Like during the finals, sometimes there's a point in the game you think, man, maybe somebody might die. You know, so it's kind of the same. It's that feeling, you know, from the first time I went to that I got into a game in Partizan. I got addicted to that. I love it.
Talk to me about some players from this team. For example, my personal favorite is Slavko Vranjes.
Slavko Vranjes, oh.
Because he's 3 meters tall. I don't know.
Also, Jan Vesely.
Jan Vesely, young Jan Vesely, yes.
as a small forward, I remember.
Yeah. That was the fun time. Yep, we had Jan was starting at. He was a small forward back then. He started 3 every game. Slavko was the center sometimes, or I would play center, or there was another guy.
Novica Veličković was a superstar.
Yes, Veličković was there. We had a pretty good team, man. We had a pretty good team that year. Like a lot of guys that made a lot of impact later on in different part of Europe. Like a lot of guys came from that team. Tepic was there. Uroš Tripkovic was there.
Bravo.
I mean, there's like a whole bunch of guys. There was a whole bunch of guys on that team that ended up being in a whole bunch of different big teams all over Europe.
And you reached the quarterfinals against CSKA that year.
Yes. I'm still bummed. I'm still mad about that game. Still think they cheated. No, but yes, I mean, it was fun time, man. It was my first time. It was my first time playing in Europe. I didn't really understand. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie that I understood everything that was going on in the season, because by the time when you first come in Europe, you don't think about points. Like when you play against the team, if you win this game, the next game you got to think about who you're gonna get next round. I wasn't too deep like this into like European basketball to understand all these things ahead of time. I was just taking care of one game at a time. I just want to make sure I kick somebody's ass and we win the game. So when I think about it now, I mean, to go to play that season and ended up playing against CSKA in a quarterfinal. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing for a new team back then, and it's not like they whooped us. I mean, we were right there. We played hard every game. We were in the game, and we actually had a successful season. The season was so good that the following year, that's the team that went to the Final Four. But most of the people only remember that team that went to the Final Four. But it's all the guys that were there that year that ended up going to the Final Four the following year.
Να πούμε αυτό που λέει ο Στεφάν τώρα, και την επόμενη χρονιά είναι η ομάδα που πάει στο Final Four με τις φοβερές εμφανίσεις που σώζει τον Ολυμπιακό το follow του Childress, έτσι, από το έργο του όντως.
Στη θέση του Στεφάν νομίζω έχει πάρει τον Άλεξ Μάριτς, αν δεν κάνω λάθος. Αυτή μπερδεύομαι τόσο πολύ.
Yeah, Marriage was there after me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alex Marriage.
But the even crazier story is, so Partizan, when I was at the end of the season, I'm going to meet Dule and the coach, and they say, man, we want you to stay for the following year. Young Stephane, only care about.
Of course.
I said, no. I went and found another team, my agent, wherever they find Maccabi. I went to Maccabi, played Maccabi for the following year. And
you lost against?
Partizan, man.
Yes, in the quarterfinals.
Crazy life. But it was fun. I mean, it was fun going back over there and playing. I mean, if I had to lose against someone, I'd rather lose against Dule. It was. I think he deserves.
He's a legendary. He's a legendary coach. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you like the life in Israel? Is it some kind of dangerous, maybe because of all these terrorist attacks that happen sometimes, or not?
I
mean,
or is
it just our idea?
I mean, I think it's. I don't want to take it away from the real danger. I'm sure there is some type of danger out there. Mm-hmm. It's just we, the players, we never felt it because there was so much security around the team. Like if you play for Maccabi, that's one thing that you understand. Everywhere you go, there's always security. There's always Secret Service with you. Like they're checking for car. They checked for car bomb before every time you go on a bus. They check it. So it's like you get used to it after a while. This is just part of their life. It's a part of the way things are over there, and it actually helps you relieve yourself from worry so much, because when you think about everyone when they think about going in Israel, this is the first thing they think about, like danger. But they make it your life so much easier. They make your life so easy. They give you everything you need, so you don't even have to think about. You don't have to think about these things. I mean, and that's why kudos to the organization. And it's a great organization because to be able to just have the player feeling that comfortable from the time you get there until you leave, it's one thing they just do amazingly. I mean, when you look at everybody else in basketball.
Okay.
But overall, other than that, the city, I mean, it's like Miami, man. If you ever been in Miami,
yes, I understand. Okay.
Tel Aviv is like Miami. It's like there's a lot of fun things to do. It's basically like being in an American city in the Middle East, you know. So no anything. I mean, if you anything you really want, you can find it in Tel Aviv. They got most of the new. I mean, all the restaurants that you want to think of that you can find in the States, you can find them over there. The American food is there. I mean, I'm not American, but I know my family was looking for American style food, so it makes everything easier. Like you can't beat that.
Okay. Μετά προχώρα.
We have Spartak, Obradoiro, and then finally Panathinaikos. You came to Panathinaikos in the maybe the strangest period for the club. Everything looked different, I guess. Zots, Obradovic has just left, and Panathinaikos was walking blind.
Right.
How was the situation in the club, in the locker rooms?
I mean, obviously, everyone, you could tell that everyone has and always have high expectation when you wear the Panathinaikos colors, right? So that's the first thing you feel, man, the pressure around, the pressure of being in Panathinaikos. As soon as you come in the gym, you know that you got to play with a lot of pressure. Everyone expects you to win every game because that's what Panathinaikos is used to. And they expect you to put the green clover before anything else. So this is one thing that stood out with me from the first time compared to all the other places that I played before that. It's just putting the Panathinaikos name before anything else. Like, this is Panathinaikos, you have to respect the culture, you have to respect, there's things that are expected. So I walked straight up into this. I mean, to be honest, even when I was getting even the way I signed to get to Panathinaikos, man, it was all strange to me. I didn't even have an agent at the time I signed with Panathinaikos. I just had fired an agent. I just got fired an agent, and I just decided I was just at home, and I got the offer from someone that I just met that day on the phone, and I ended up texting with with Dimitri Yanakopoulos.
Oh, Dimitris.
Yeah. I ended up texting with him directly from the first time, before the first contract I signed. I think he's the one who he texted me to just, I mean, because I think there was so much stuff going on in the news because the coaches wanted to sign me, but I don't know. I wasn't involved how it was in Greece, but I just know there was a whole bunch of stuff going on with me going to Panathinaikos. They made an offer, and I said no. I wasn't happy with the offer, and then Dimitris reached out to me and just asked me what would it take for me to sign. And even then, we didn't even come into agreement until a month later, I say, or something like this, when the season already started, and I had to come in right in the middle of the season.
Stephane, your first game in Greece was a derby versus Olympiacos, I remember.
Yeah.
I clearly remember the game. Your free throws.
No, I missed everything, huh?
It was catastrophic.
I missed everything. I didn't know what the hell was going on that game, man. I kept trying, man. I kept like going like this, trying to hit that free throw, but nothing. I couldn't hit. I mean,
zero. Παιδιά, πρέπει να έχει 0 στις 10 εκείνη τη μέρα. 0 to 10. How many?
I don't know. I think it was 0 for 7. 10? Come on, man. You gonna keep me at least. I think it was 0 for 8 or something like this. I want to say it's 0 for 10. Oh my God, it's terrible. But yeah, man, the game was just so intense, man. And I just didn't know. I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't know the whole thing about Panathinaikos and Olympiacos. It's like until I got to Greece, I knew there was 2 teams in Greece, Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, but I wasn't the guy that would just go and pay attention to the games and know what's going on in this country over there.
But you knew the Serbian derby.
I knew the Serbian derby, but I only learned about it because I went there. If I never went there, I would have never known. So it was kind of the same thing with even in Israel. In Israel, they had their own derby. I think it was like Maccabi against Jerusalem when I was there.
Yes,
something like this. Yeah, and then so I never knew about those until I got there, and I learned those things, and then it becomes fun, because that's what makes basketball fun over there, right? So when I get to Greece, and I mean, even I don't even think I understood how big of a game it was until against Olympiacos, until maybe a month later, man. Because I went over there and but I didn't know it was that bad. You know, when I realized that this shit was that crazy is when we played in a random arena in Athens, and they had our friends on one side and Olympiacos fan on the other side, and somebody shot the thing at the guy from Olympiacos, Karl Heinz. Do you guys remember the thing? Yeah, when they shot the thing, that was the same season. They shot the thing from one side, and that's when I understood, so it's really like life or death over here.
Δεν το θυμόμουν αυτό, Θανάση, καθόλου, δεν το θυμόμουν.
Ναι, ρε φίλε, έχει δίκιο. He's right, yes.
Yeah. So I knew it was serious, but I didn't know it was like, you know, we're gonna fuck you up today kind of relationship, you know. Yeah.
In the middle of the season comes to Panathinaikos your alter ego, James Gist. The team started with Adi Panko, and then
we started Panko.
Yeah,
we started Panko, and we went ahead and had the first and only EuroLeague trade ever.
Yeah.
With Malaga, Unicaja Malaga.
Yeah. And what a trade!
The first ever trade, and we got James.
How did you blend so well with James Gist? In my opinion, you were the best defensive duo in EuroLeague history.
Maybe.
I mean, we just love that stuff, man. I mean, I think it's just when we met, when we started playing together, we both understood that we took pride in getting stops.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we wanted to stop people. Like, this is one thing me and Jay wanted to do. We wanted to stop the other team, even if it just had to be me and him. But the best thing is we had the other guys that were doing the same thing, like Mike Bramos, Mashulis, and Diamantidis. We just had all these guys on the team that just want to play defense. It just made it easier for me and James. Like, we just had to freaking do the rest, you know? So when we both met, we just realized, like, there's not that many people that can run, jump, and think. Usually when they ask you to jump, they don't want you to think. Yes. So one thing that James and I understood quick, like, we know that we're not those type of guys that can run, jump, and not think. So it made it even easier playing basketball, because everything we do on defense could translate on offense. Every time we do on offense can translate on defense. We understood the plan, coach plan, and we just knew how to just get shit done. And we were in that same level all the time. Like, we understand what the plan is. Let's just get shit done, you know.
And you have a very successful season in the first season, because you lose from Barcelona in details in the quarterfinals, but you got the league title.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we did
the sweep.
Scupa. Yeah. I mean, it was relatively it was a pretty successful season for like a new team, you know, especially a team with a team like Panathinaikos with the expectation, and also with the fact that we had to change the whole organization, all the players and the coaching staff. Everything was different. So it was a pretty successful season. I wish we build up more on it, but things should happen, you know. Okay.
And Scupa.
I mean, the only thing we can have right now is the great memories, right?
Okay.
The memory of going over there.
This is with what we are fond of. We like memories. We are retro lovers.
Yeah.
And you get a Scupa, like you said, against Olympiacos, who got back-to-back EuroLeague titles that season.
I know. I mean,
So this makes your success even bigger.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, beating Olympiacos, they were two-time EuroLeague champ, was amazing. I mean, you almost want to feel like you won the EuroLeague, right? But you didn't. They won the EuroLeague. I mean, they were the better team. They were the better team in Europe. The satisfaction we get is the fact that we know that if we just we could have been that one of those teams in Europe. Because I mean, I still feel like we could have done better that first year, you know. And the proof is we won against Olympiacos in the finals at home. I mean, locally. So
okay,
it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like we have the memories. We know what we did. We know how good we were back then. But that Olympiacos team was pretty good, man. Yes. Pretty good. You can downplay the fact that they were like the best team in Europe, and then and beating them 3 times. I mean, a sweep like this is a big accomplishment.
Yes. Μιχάλη, παρακάτω.
Ένα λεπτό, Θανάση. I want to recall the unforgettable series versus CSKA. You managed to tie up the series in a very tough game in Athens during overtime. But what happened at the 5th game? You were damaged by the Russians.
I don't know, man. I think it was all maybe team. Shit. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you what happened then. I mean, it's me. It's somebody else. It's all of us. Like, we didn't show up. Sometimes we just, like, some players don't show up. I think we didn't show up that day. We wish we can take it back, but you can't. That's the beauty, the beauty of sports, right? You only get one shot one time, and the better team wins.
But to be honest, CSKA was a better team, and you gave all your heart. You gave everything in the 2 home games.
Yeah,
so that you tied the series. So the 5th game was lopsided. But okay. I think, and I remember to say it in Greek. Θυμάμαι και για τους φίλους, να το πούμε τώρα, ότι ο Ολυμπιακός έπαιξε με τη Ρεάλ εκείνη τη χρονιά, μετά από τις 2 Ευρωλυγκές του Ολυμπιακού, με μειονέκτημα. Και το 2-0 έγινε και αυτό 2-2 και έχασε 3-2 στο τέλος. Δεν θα πω εύκολα, σίγουρα πιο δύσκολο από ότι ο Παναθηναικός από την CSKA, αλλά ήταν και αυτό, ήταν σε 5ο μάτς. Οκ. Να πάμε στην Τουρκία λίγο, Ανατολού και Γαλατά.
Πάμε.
Okay, what was your experience after the war zones in Serbia, in Israel, and in Greece? How was your experience in Turkey? Because they are also known for their war zones in basketball.
I mean, Turkey was definitely different than everything else, man. And especially going in Turkey after Greece, with the history in Turkey and Greece. It was fun for me because I got to witness the whole thing from the other side, you know. My first year with FS, I mean, one thing that stood out for me was it was like the first time I played, and there weren't really like I played on a team where there wasn't a big fan base, you know. FS back then, I mean, I think now FS got more fans now that they're winning than when I was there. It was my first time. It was playing for Ivkovic, bless his soul. Ivkovic got us that year. I mean, it was a different style of coaching. Different kind, like he had a crazy basketball. He had a crazy basketball mind. I mean, like a genius when it comes to basketball. And it was just a different atmosphere. It was almost like he was NBA, like, you know, like extra professional. It wasn't so much like the same team concept you experience in Greece, for example, where it's more like family, more like a family atmosphere. My first impression of Turkey was more like business, like, but I liked it. Also, it was different. And then Galatasaray, that that year was fun because I went back on a team with a crazy fan base, and that's where I feel comfortable more playing. You know, when I know I play better when there's fans. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but Galatasaray was amazing because with the fan interaction, you can get to play with more enthusiasm. Obviously, we won the Euro Cup, so it was amazing. I always have like a great relationship with the Galatasaray and the fans, and it's just a totally different aspect of basketball over there, man. And even the culture, it's a Muslim country, so everything is a little different. They are a little more strict in certain areas and a little loose in some other areas. But overall, I love Turkey also. Galatasaray was one of the best times of my life.
Which city do you like the most? Athens or Istanbul or some other city from Europe?
Athens. There's no question.
Because we are Greeks.
Huh?
Because we are Greeks.
You can't have Athens without the Greeks. Obviously not. Obviously not. Obviously not.
Tell me something that you didn't like in Greece.
Something
with the traffic.
Like. Traffic is not bad. Avril. Tomorrow. Everything tomorrow.
Everything is left for tomorrow. Okay. Yes.
That's what they...
Siga. Did you learn that? Siga.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the only thing I don't like about Greece, but everything else is fun, man. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. There's not that many things that I don't like. I mean, there's always there was always, since I got there when the economy was bad, there was always a question about the economy. So this, to me, I don't know Greece without the bad economy. So it doesn't change anything to me. It doesn't change anything to me, but I just know like everything else was great, man.
So I'm going to tell you three names. Ivkovic, Vujosevic, and Pini Gerson. Which one of the three offered you the most? Not the best coach, but with who were you closer to as a basketball mention?
You say Ivkovic,
Vujosevic,
and Pini Gerson.
Oh, Vujosevic, of course. Closer too? Like closer? Yeah, for sure. He didn't speak zero English, but I'm closer to him than the other two by far.
Maybe because he's much more like a college coach. Because you were very young, you and the team.
Yeah. Maybe it's that. And I mean, I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot in that year with him. I learned so much about basketball that I can take with me for the rest of my life.
Okay. Before we leave you, and thank you very much for your presence.
Αν μπορούμε να το κρατήσουμε λίγο ακόμα. Προχώρα λίγο.
Okay. I want to ask you for a locker room story. Whatever you want to share.
Locker room story.
Wherever, in Athens, with Panathinaikos or any other team. Something funny, something unusual that you would like to share, of course.
Shit, I can't think of anything right now. Locker room story. I can't think of anything, man.
Who took you out for gyros, Slovakia, more often?
Slovakia? Like games?
Did you go with somebody or everybody went alone with their families?
No, we met sometimes, but I mean, every day I went. I mean, if it was Slovakia, I'll probably get Slovakia with James all the time. Oh, we get James, Slovakia, James. But I mean,
do you speak with each other?
I mean,
you and James.
I can't remember a locker room story, but I mean, did you know this? Did you know that we got James and I got in a fight outside of the bar?
I have someone to help you maybe in the waiting room.
In the what?
In the waiting room, someone is waiting now.
Who is this?
Είναι αυτός, man. Ramel κάνει, ρε μαλάκα.
Oh my goodness. What are you doing here?
Man, look at you.
Ramel.
Look at you, man.
Well, hey man, they ask me for how are you, man? They ask me for locker room stories, and then you appear. I'm about to tell them stories about you, man.
Hey, the locker room stories, man. They listen, man. Some of them can't go out.
But you have to give us one, at least one.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll leave it up to Steph, man. Steph, you give the locker room stories, man.
Locker room story? No, I don't. I mean, I can't think of anything. I mean, we were just talking about the first time I met you.
That's a safe one. That's a safe
one. Oh my god. I mean, the first time I'm gonna tell you, the first time I met Ramel signed with us in the middle of a game, let's say. Ramel signed his contract and just appeared for the game, and it was the first time we met him. Was literally, I don't want to say on the floor, man.
Right.
We probably didn't have time to talk in the locker room. Nothing. Coach just put him on the floor, and he just straight balled out, man. I think easy 25, 5 and 5, something ridiculous. So stats out of the blue. So me and James, we were so excited to just get another a player of this caliber, and a player that can score that much, because until that time we just didn't have anyone that could. We had no one on the team that could do what could do. So when we started, we were just excited after the game. We were talking shit in the freaking in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
In the bathroom after the game, like, yeah, man, the game, he's great. I'm about to go say hi to him. I want to say, hey, man, I'm Stephane. Nice to meet you, man. I'm like, he looked at me, turned around, and just started praying. I was so shocked. I was like, what the fuck? And I walked off, right? But it's not until then that I realized that he has his own routine that he do before and after the game, that he has his prayers that he take before the game and prayers after the game. And I came and just messed up his whole prayer with my praises. That was the first time I met him.
Crazy, man.
Ramel, it's great to have you too. Thank you very much. How's life for you? Where are you?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm living in LA right now. Been here now about 7 months, 7 months now. But I've always lived in California. So I was in Fresno, since '98, pretty much. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that's about it. Working on a pretty big project that I'm finishing up on. Should be launching in about a couple of weeks. So it's been 6 years actually, and so yeah, looking forward to that. But other than that, just trying to enjoy life after basketball, man. That's it.
Nice. Μιχαλάρα, ωραίο όταν παίξεις.
Από τους καλύτερους σουτέρ, σκόρερ που έχουν εμφανιστεί ποτέ, κατά τη γνώμη μου, αν και έπαιξε λίγο. Ramel, when you used to play for Panathinaikos, you were one of the best shooters Panathinaikos has ever seen. You were amazing. Θανάση, κάτι άλλο?
Τίποτα, τελειώσαμε.
Τον φέραμε να βοηθήσει λίγο με καμιά ιστορία, εντάξει.
Λοιπόν, ωραία. We want to thank you both very much. It has been an honor to speak with you. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you very much for your appearance here today.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys reaching out. So that was, I didn't know, you guys had this plan. It was great to see my boy. I didn't see that. Steph is the craziest dude I ever met in my life, just so you guys know that. But he's one of the best human beings I've ever met as well. So it was good to see you too, man. And good to see you guys as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Stefan, thank you.
Take care.
Λοιπόν, τα λέμε κύριοι, ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ, να είστε καλά.
Να είστε καλά.
Καλή συνέχεια σε ό,τι και αν κάνετε. Μιχάλη, σε ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Να είστε καλά, παιδιά. Γεια χαρά.
Γεια χαρά.